Hi, everyone. I'm Ali Phillips, an executive leader at a multi-billion-dollar organization, a content creator, and founder of Sage, a career accelerator for women who want to thrive in their 9 to 5. In my time, not only have I supported hundreds of women to prepare for interviews, I've also been on the other side of them. So I have some tips that can help you nail them. Today, I'm going to talk through 7 of them. First one, it takes practice, but you need to learn the skill of talking about the impact that you've had and the achievements that you've made rather than simply the responsibilities. So many people get this wrong. They focus too much on the work that they did, the responsibilities that sat with them, and they think that talking about all of this effort makes it sound really good. But the reality is leaders care about impact over effort. So you have to learn the skill of articulating what results you drove in a business. For example, instead of saying something like, I looked after our targeted loyalty program and managed a budget of $10 million, whilst that's impressive, you need to add to it. So you add to it with something like, in my time, while I was owning the targeted loyalty program, we drove customer retention by 6 percentage points and brought in 20 million in revenue, which was proven by target control testing. Or another one, let's say you're in marketing. You could go in there and you could say, I led end-to-end integrated marketing campaigns from idea through to execution across multiple channels. Again, that's really good. That's great. It's impressive. However, you want to talk about the results. So you could add to that by saying the campaigns I led increased engagement by 6 percentage points and were recognized by industry awards for creativity. Here's the thing, you can't be shy here, especially for women. We have this thing, this knack. We feel like we're bragging if we talk about our achievements or we talk about our results. It's like we need permission to sell ourselves. But I'm going to just tell you one thing. If there is ever a moment to be proud of your achievements or to be proud of the things that you have done and to sell them, it is an interview. That is when you have the permission to sell. So please do it. All right, and now following on from that, the best thing that you can do to ensure that you articulate your answers well is to practice. Practice, practice, practice. People just don't do it, but it is so, so worth it. Why? Because the more you practice, the more you build this sort of muscle memory about what it is that you need to say. The more you build this muscle memory, the more you're building familiarity. And when it feels familiar, you will feel confident. And if you're then feeling confident when you're in the room, you're going to show up with more presence and you're going to think much more clearly. So do yourself a favor and practice. Now, there's 2 ways that you can do this. One, you can just talk to a buddy, talk to a mate, talk to a partner, get them to run through some different interview questions and literally practice, or you could do it in a mirror as well. But there are lots of AI tools now that actually allow you to have that sort of feedback where you can either voice record your responses and talk to an AI, or you could do it over video as well. And so these sort of fake interview environments actually create a world where you can practice your answers. So try these out. All right, this might be a no-brainer, but first impressions matter. You have to remember that how you show up, how you are seen, that has so much in terms of the perceptions that people build about you. So you have to make sure that you dress the part. It's so simple, but not everyone does it. You just have to make sure that you show up as someone who shows that you are disciplined and you have self-care. I have 3 tips within this. First, dress slightly more elevated than that company. So the way that you can do this, like 1, if you know someone who works there, just ask them, what is the dress code like? Or 2, have a look on their company website and see if there are any in situ photos and you can get a vibe for what the people dress like every day and just wear something that's slightly more elevated because it just shows that you care. Another tip here is to dress in something that genuinely makes you feel good, something that makes you feel confident, one of your favorite outfits. It actually makes a huge difference. And another one, if it's remote, make sure that you are practicing good remote etiquette. So what does that mean? Have a clean background. Make sure you look at the camera. Make sure that it's sort of forward facing. Ideally, do it on a laptop and not on a phone. These things make a difference. Okay, this for me is another no-brainer, but people do it all the time. I have had people interview for roles where it is abundantly clear that they have never opened the app for the company that I work for. It is an automatic red flag and an automatic decline. So do your research. It is so simple, so simple, but people don't do it. But it is just an automatic red flag if you don't do it. So make sure you do. So what do I mean by that? If they're an app-based business, download their app, use it. If they sell products, buy their products, use them. If they're a service, go on their website and see how they talk about themselves, how they talk about their clients. Just do your research. Other things you can do, have a look at their social media, have a look at their most recent ads, have a look at their website, look at their company values, look at the way that they talk about themselves. But do your research and make sure that you show that you care about that company and it's actually somewhere where you want to work. Don't take questions at face value. This is one that maybe not a lot of people realize, but there is often another reason why a question is being asked than you might expect. For example, the classic opener, tell me about yourself. What people are actually looking for here is, what is your relevant experience, and can you sum it up in a concise way that shows that you know what's relevant and what I might care about. Another, the classic, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Now, to be fair, I don't actually use the word weaknesses anymore because I just don't think it's the most positive thing, and I talk about opportunities. Regardless, if you're asked this question about strengths and weaknesses, people for some reason they struggle with the weaknesses part, and they focus on it too much, and they get worried and they get nervous about saying things like, "Oh, I don't want to actually showcase a weakness because it might be a bad thing." But the reality with this question, what we're looking for is self-awareness, proactivity, and an openness to learn. So here's the thing: if you go in and you don't highlight any weaknesses or any growth opportunities at all, again, automatic red flag. Why? Because here's the reality: you don't know everything. It is impossible. You do not know everything. There is always something for you to learn. And what I want to see is that you have that self-awareness and you have that openness. I want you to be teachable. See, the people who grow the most are those who are open to growing the most. And this trait, this is harder to teach than something technical. So it's something that I look out for and other leaders look out for, I promise you. So the best way to answer this question is to highlight your growth opportunities and what you're doing to actively fill them. For example, you can see from my CV that I have 5 years experience in brand marketing. However, I don't have as much experience in media strategy, and that's something that I am currently actively working on. I am filling that gap by doing X, Y, Z. Okay, remember, here's a little trick. You are interviewing them just as much as they are interviewing you. So at the end of the interview, there's always going to be that opening. Do you have any questions for us? It's not a test. I mean, it's a test in a way of, if you don't have any questions, it kind of shows that you're not prepared. So make sure you have some. But actually what it shows is that you care, you've done your research, and you actually want to understand more about the role. But use this time to find out what you need to know from them. This could be things like, what are the development opportunities in this role? What does the day-to-day culture look like? How much decisioning autonomy will I have? What does success look like in this role? You want to ask questions that help you determine whether it's the type of role that you actually want to do. And what that shows, it shows willingness and it shows proactivity. So it's only going to be a good thing. And finally, work your network. You want to see if you can get a good word put in for you. And it has to be authentic. That's the trick. Ideally, you want someone who knows someone in that company and they can do a warm introduction for you, or ideally you want someone in your network who actually knows the hiring manager. But try and build some connections of people within the business, because if you build authentic relationships and they can put in good words for you based on, oh yeah, I had a chat to them, they really impressed me based on this work that they spoke about, or X, Y, Z, it actually does go a long way. I actually recently read that the thing that has the most impact on your success in getting a role is 1, your case study, and 2, your referrals. So make sure that you try to build some referrals and get some good words put in as much as you can. Interviews can feel scary, so I'm really hopeful that these tips will help you out. But just remember as well, if you're feeling nerves, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Nerves simply mean that you care. Now, if you're about to go on an interview, good luck, and also check out this video here, which goes through self-confidence and self-belief.